What's going on, everyone? Taylor Kyles here for CLNS Media, coming at you with another episode of Pat's Daily, brought to you by our good friends at Game Time. And I am joined by very good friend of the show, Miguel Benzan, at Pat's Cap on Twitter, the go-to for all your cap, contract, extension, all that kind of related stuff regarding the Patriots. And today we have quite a lot to talk about. Been a pretty busy summer break for the Patriots. We got guys getting extensions. We got people really wanting extensions and making that well known. And we're going to discuss it all in terms of what can be resolved and also what Miguel actually thinks about the extensions that have already gone through. So without further ado, Miguel, welcome back to the show, my good friend. How you doing?
Doing all right. I have a long weekend, so I gotta spend tomorrow mowing my lawn. So I'm looking forward to that and cheering on the Red Sox. Let's go, because I'll be able to see them play against the Royals in Kansas in early August, visiting a friend out there. So I'm looking forward to that. I get to visit another baseball stadium. So
how many have you been to?
Another stadium. How
many
have
stadiums
I seen? Atlanta, Minnesota, New York, Boston, Worcester, Pawtucket. Okay, I'm counting minor leagues, but I'm trying. Yeah, I visited a couple of stadiums. I visited a stadium in Birmingham, Alabama, but they weren't open because the team was on the road.
Okay.
I'm thinking about going to Cleveland next year, and I guess the Red Sox are playing in Cleveland in April, and also see the Rock Hall of Fame at the same time. We'll see.
Very cool, man. You are like
it's
an adventure.
Well, the older I get, I'm like, I might as well do something. Might as well watch visiting some stadiums. You know what I'm saying?
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah.
Use the time you got.
Yeah,
all right.
Might as well do that.
Now, let's talk about some of your favorite Patriots extensions. We got a lot of news and everything to talk about, but I'm curious because you know the ins and outs of all these contracts and the entire situation and the landscape of how they look. So, with all the players that have been extended in this new Patriots regime, what have been your favorite deals so far, or your favorite players that have been retained?
Okay, this is funny. The one that I like the most is the one that probably got the wrong the most. And that's Barmore. I thought he would have got a much bigger deal. All right.
Yeah.
So I was way off on the money. All right. I was way off on how team friendly it is. It's a really team friendly deal. But is my favorite because he's one of the best players on the team. And that once they extended him, I knew that there's all this talk about draft and develop was real. So I knew going forward, like I said, like right after the start of free agency, I picked like 5 players that could get extended. All right, I would have never have done that under the prior regime. I would never have had that because that just wasn't their thing.
Right.
All right. It is what it is. We moved on. Grateful we got the 6 championships. So I'm not gonna speak ill of Bill Belichick. He's he and I are both economics majors. I think he's great. I'll say this over time. I think he was the greatest GM of all time. All right. Over time, everybody can pick. The team makes about 100 to 200 transactions a year, so you can pick out several he's gotten wrong. All right. All right, with the benefit of hindsight and everything. So it is what it is. But I love the Christian Barmore deal because he's a great player. I think he's an up and coming player. And I like another thing I like about it because it had different amounts of things in it. Like the active roster bonuses and off-season workout bonuses, which just reinforces my notion that trying to guess the numbers of the deal after we hear it's 3 years and $75 million is pointless.
Right.
Because the numbers, you don't know the underlying numbers. Right. So just
gotta wait for the
deals. Great for the details. If you want to be make an opinion on that without having the details, you go ahead. That's not my thing. All right. And because I need to know the details in order to have an informed opinion about it. So that's you sent me that in a DM, and then and I said I was gonna go which one I thought was the most team friendly, but at the end, I wanted to go with one that proved me wrong because I think we had talked about this before. We both thought he was gonna get. I thought he was gonna in the closer to $25 million, 25 to $27 million. All right, so I was way off, and I thought it would have been a stronger deal for him in terms of guaranteed money, right? And that the Patriots couldn't walk away so soon, but it isn't. So I like to be. I like the things to be to keep me on my toes.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why it's my favorite.
Right. Well, everything man, I know you get bored at some point. You're like, give me something new, give me a curveball just to get you some excitement a little bit. Now, moving on from
actually, the curveballs are difficult to hit because it's hard to explain on Twitter curveballs, even with pictures. Even when even when I put in pictures of the deals, people still have questions about the numbers in it. Right. So imagine if I have to do it with a curveball. Forget about
okay, I can see how that might make your life a little bit tougher there. Yeah, there's two sides to every coin. Yeah. Two sides to every coin. But speaking of one big guy who signed a team-friendly deal, moving on to another. Now, Mike Onwenu. Obviously, when he signed his deal, the understanding, I think, pretty much on all sides was he was going to be the Patriots starting right tackle. But now, as we saw towards the end of minicamp, obviously the first time in minicamp we saw, excited to have Miguel on. Me too, Matt. Me too. Always an absolute delight. So you got some love in the chat, my man. So with Mike Onwenu, as we saw in minicamp, the first day of minicamp, we saw he and Caden Wallace were on the right side together with the twos. Then the last day of minicamp, it's starting to look like, wow, okay, maybe Mike Onwenu's back at right guard, where I think we could all agree he's a better player. But then some questions started to pop up over, okay, well, he signed a deal like a right tackle. Is he now overpaid as a guard? Now, I have my own opinions on this, but you know better than I would. So I want to know from your opinion, is he overpaid on his current deal if he ends up going back to the guard spot?
It depends on how you rate him as a guard. I rate him as an elite guard. He's getting paid. Then if you agree with that, then he's fine. Then he's getting paid comparable. But if you think he's just a good guard, then he's probably getting paid somewhere between 20 to 25% higher than he should be. All right. But if you think he's in the top echelon of guard play, all right, and realizing that the market has gone up for the guard play, interior line play, big time over the last couple of years. Yeah. So his deal right now, in a couple of years, he's gonna get surpassed by other guys soon. All right. We just saw the guy from the Broncos surpass him. All right.
Yeah.
So if you think he's elite, then he's not overpaid. If you don't think he's elite, then he's overpaid. Then I'm not going to convince anyone. You have a better chance of convincing people on his level of play than I do. All right. I'm just going by my eyeballs. I think he's a really good elite guy. I follow people on Twitter like you, Brendan Thorne, blah, blah, blah. They all tell me, all you guys are telling me that he's really, really good and an elite player at top 10, whatever number you make this is elite. I think he is. All right. His deal has the upside of being either way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good deal for if he's a guard, it was a good deal if he's a tackle, as long as he plays well. All right, that's all that matters. I mean, us talking about it now before he plays, like we all think what he is, all right, but something could change. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, God forbid, I don't want to rip jinx the man, but what if he gets hurt? All right, then the deal does not look so good. All right, but no one can control. No, if you're gonna say that, but you can't predict injuries, and I don't want. That's why I hate bringing them up. All right, and because I hate jinxing people.
No, but I think you're spot on. Because with Onwenu, if anything, I think it's a better value with him at guard than it is at tackle. Because tackle is where I think he's like a good to solid player. Like, I don't think he's going to make any Pro Bowl. But you do keep him inside. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's right. It's better value. Better value at guard. Yeah, it's better value at guard.
All right,
but he's more likely.
Who's worried?
As funny as it is, he's more. No, but he's more likely to his incentives at the guard position. So therefore, his cap number will go up. All right, so it'll be less of a bargain because he'll hit his All Pro and Pro Bowl things. All right, but it's everybody has an opinion. All right, I if you think that Michael Onwenu is overpaid, I don't think there's anything that I can say to change your mind. All right. I mean, like literally. All right. All right. I just know that he plays. Most of the people I respect about who talk about evaluating O-line play think he's really, really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I go by. All right. Because I'm not gonna honestly, I don't watch all 32 right guards play. I'm not doing that during my day.
Yeah, they're doing that. To be fair, nobody blaming you for that, brother.
Yeah.
All right, now let's move on to some other staples of this new regime of the Patriots. Now, one, we got Ramondre Stevenson, and then pretty shortly after, we got Jelani Tavai. Now, Ramondre Stevenson, I wouldn't say he's underrated. I think 2022 kind of showed how valuable he was to this offense, but he got paid like a top 10 running back. So clearly the Patriots think, and in this the Jeremy Fowler ESPN rankings, he only got a vote. He wasn't top 10. He was an honorable mention. But I think when you look at his stats throughout his career and also how well-rounded he is, I personally think you could absolutely make the argument that he is in that top 10 conversation. And then Jelani Tavai, another guy who got an extension, not the same kind of like top of the market contract, but something from my perspective looked pretty good for a guy who is a staple of the defense and has such a big role. So from your perspective, we can start with whatever player you want. Ramondre Stevenson and Jelani Tavai, what did you think of their extensions, and did you think that they were good from the team and player perspective, or did you have some kind of issue with either one of them?
Oh, no issue. They're both team-friendly deals. They both, let's remember that since it got extended, all right, their new money deal is less than their paper money API is less than the new money API. What do I mean by that?
You mentioned that with Stevenson a while ago, that if he signed an extension, he'd be cheaper. Yeah.
Yes. Like Tavai, okay? But let's not include his LTP incentives, all right? That he had for $1 million this year. He was going to get around less than $2 million in cash this year. All right. Then he gets then he's getting in his new deal, he gets base value of $15 million. All right. That's 17 divided by 4. All right. But we're going to say he got a $5 million deal. All right. But for the Patriots side of it, they're thinking he's just going to get over $4.25 million. All right. That's what they're going to pay in cash. And if he earns his incentives, that's terrific. You know what I'm saying? Because he has $6 million in savings. So even at worst, it comes out to like $5.5 million if he earns every incentive. And folks, the last incentive is like $500,000 if he plays 80% play time and the team makes the playoffs. All right. If that happens, is anyone really going to complain about paying the man $500,000? Right. All right, in incentives? No. Stevenson is he's up there as it turns around, but there's a big gap, but like he's less than half of Christian oh my gosh,
McCaffrey.
Whatever. McCaffrey, I can't talk today. Oh my God. I spent all day talking today. Sorry.
You're good. Busy man.
So he's in there. He's in there, but I don't think he's getting paid right around where he should be. And his incentives, if he hits his incentives, he's still not going to be in the top 10 terms of API or terms of cash. I mean, this year he's going to get a lot of cash because he got paid a signing bonus, right? But going forward, his deal is a tremendous bargain. And the fact is they can get rid of both players in the fall of 2025 and still create cap space. So I mean that's a pretty team-friendly thing. All right. I like both deals. I just found it I was more surprised about the time. Like I think I said to you, I thought that all these deals would happen now, right around this time period, right before training camp. Like we just saw with the Broncos guy. We just saw someone. Oh my gosh, there was another guy who just got extended. I just forgot his name. All right. I am surprised by the time is that I guess the Patriots really do mean no days off. It is remarkable how they keep on extending players, and yet they still have players who they still could extend. That's one of the factors is that they had ended the 2023 season with so many players on IR. So you had the 53-man roster, and then you had 15 people on IR. So that gives you a big roster to carry into 2024, which they did. Yeah, so I like both deals. I have yet. Oh, I should be really careful what I'm going to say here. Those who don't dislike the deals kind of said it right away, right before the details of it came out. All right, and those who didn't like the divide deal, okay, those who didn't like the divide deal were more talking about, well, what about Judon? What about Godchaux? Right, rather than saying, well, he got paid too much. I'm like, he's getting paid at most $5 to $7 million a year. That's not even close to what the top linebackers are getting. All right, he's getting right just above. He's in the middle of a linebacker market, right? 30th or
It
something.
takes some scrolling. You got to get through a couple pages.
You got to do some scrolling. But there's but if you do $1 million difference, right? You get more guys. There's a tight. Once you get past the top guys, everyone's close together.
Right.
There's not a big gap. So if you go from 5 to 3, there's a lot of people in there. So I don't know, like, and then saying he got overpaid. I'm like, when people say he got overpaid, I'm like, tell me how much did you expect him to get in an extension? Like, what did you expect him to sign for? Like, he's not like I don't think he's going to get $20 million a year, but I don't think he was going to sign for $2 million, just what he was getting right now. What would be the point?
Veteran minimum, or are you trying?
Yeah. It's like those are the people I think you don't want to play fantasy football with, because they're going to offer you horrendous deals.
Speaking of which, we got to figure out how to get in the lead together. All right. We've just scratched the surface. We still got to talk about Judon and Godchaux and the effects that these extensions have potentially had on the locker room. But first, quick word from our friends at Game Time. Be right back.
It's the dog days of summer here in Boston, which means it's time to get to some games over at Fenway Park. This baseball season, I'm using Game Time to land my Red Sox tickets. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace in Major League Baseball, which means getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. It's super easy. You just open the app, click Sports, and the games will be right there for you. Right now, you can get tickets to the Rollin' Red Sox for as low as $11. You can even buy parking for the game and check out your seat view right in the app. With Game Time, you can save up to 60% by buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theaters, and more. Get the lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
All right, Miguel. So with all the extensions and new contracts that have gone out, now we're getting guys like Matthew Judon and Davon Godchaux who've been vocal, maybe not with us, but in their behavior and reports or what have you, about not being too happy with their deals. So I'm curious, before we actually get into their situations, do you think that the Patriots went overboard on their extensions, handing out so many new deals under this new regime? Or is that just the price of doing business for a new regime when you're trying to make sure that you're rounding out your roster? Because, I probably lean towards the latter, but I'm curious if you think maybe they're just doing a bit too much when it comes to handing out all these new deals.
The price of having so few players signed for future years. All right. That's what one of the reasons they could extending please. They had so few players signed for future years. All right. That's one thing. And the other thing is, you have a player at the most important position, the most expensive position on a rookie deal. All right. This year, Drake Maye is going to get over $20 million in cash. All right. 2025, 26, 27, unless they extend him in 27, he's going to get less than $10 million, something like less than $10 million. All right. So you might as well spend the money, because you have a 3-year cash spending requirement. Right. There is value in having player retention, because your players better than the players from a different team. We can only hope. You know what the player can do. A current player in your team can do in your system. You know that with 100% certainty. You can only hope that your projection for a player from another team ends up being 100%. You have you have fact versus hope and projection.
Yep.
Fact is current player. Hope and projection is a player from a different roster.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to make the right choices on the players you extend. You have to make at the right value. Low, I will say this, Taylor. Overall, the Patriots got team-friendly deals. All right? Everyone. I think at most part, they signed like over 30 players, right? Whatever. It's either signed as free agencies or extended players. It's close to 30. I'd be hard-pressed to count to say 5 that I thought I would consider truly might have gotten overpaid. And then I'll say like one name would make, if you make the say that Hunter Henry got overpaid, I'm not going to argue with you. All right. Because he got $9 million at his age. I can see that argument. All right.
Yeah.
But other people, if you want, like Josh Uche definitely didn't get overpaid.
Right.
Uche bargain.
What do you think of Kyle Duggar?
Barmore bargain. All right. Huh? Kyle
What do you
Duggar's
think of Kyle Duggar?
Button line.
Okay.
No, he was right in line what I thought. Okay. He was right in line when I thought. If you didn't like Kyle Duggar as a player, you would say he's overpaid. All right. But I thought he got around he got maybe half to maybe $1 million more than I thought he was going to get. All right.
But
that's in that what? Okay. I'm not going to say that makes him overpaid. All right.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in the scheme of things, it's like I was just off on the market. All right. I'm trying to think of the other guys. Divine, no. Oh my gosh.
Guys,
Jennings definitely not. Oh my god. You know, say Andrew's not.
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree.
And there's so many guys. I'm like, the number of guys you could think who got overpaid versus the guys I thought got underpaid it's lopsided. Okay. I guess only if you believe that the page, if you know, okay, let me phrase this. If you know how much the Patriots are going to spend in cash this year, right? Then you can make the argument they went overboard. I don't know that number. None of us know that number.
Right.
Are you know what I'm saying? And I'll say while I'm confident, none of us, I don't know that number, right? But I do know right now they're in the top 9 in the cash spending categories, 3 major cash spending categories as of today. All right. I do know they have close to $50 million incentives that do not count in the cash counting categories right now because they haven't been earned. All right. So I know that the Patriots are willing to spend as much as in the $325 $500 million range. All right. I don't know who's going to get hurt. It's like, because every time you play gets hurt and you replace them, that's cash and comp. All right. I don't know what their limit is. I wouldn't be surprised if there is no limit for them this year because this is the year to do it. Because most NFL contracts are 2 years in C. In the third year, right, in 2026, we got to make it this. That's going to be the last year that Drake Maye is playing on before he get extended. You want to put him in the best position to succeed. Definitely in 2026. You want to obviously do it in 2024, 2025, but definitely in 2026 because you got a decision to make about his option year. All right. So these deals that we're talking about, Patriots can walk away after 2025 with most of these deals and still have very little dead money and still be able to go after big name contracts in 2026. All right. Only if you believe in cash crowding, and then you know the number. Otherwise, it's just speculation.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. If I knew the Patriots how much they're willing to spend this year, then I would be concerned. I don't. All right. So I also know that how much they can spend. They by willing to sign these players to extensions, you're saying I'm willing to spend this money.
Right.
So they really.
So cap health wise, like we always like to look at it as spending, not spending. Cap health wise, based on what they've done so far, even if you factor in maybe they sign like a handful of players during the season to fill some holes, do you think they're in a good spot?
Oh, they're in a great spot. They're in a great spot this year, and don't want to jinx the team again. Mm-hmm. In order for them to be not in a good spot next year, or not even to be in a great spot next year, they had to suffer injuries this year. A lot of injuries. All right. And the other thing that could hurt them next year is the players with the $50 million incentives basically earn them all, which would mean the Patriots would have a negative adjustment to the 25 cap, and the player cap number will go up. All right. Because they hit making their incentives that we considered for 2024 not likely to be earned, because it likely to be earned for 2025. So that's a double hit. Right. When a player hurt who has the same incentive in 2024 and 2025 earns on not likely to be earned incentive, it's a double hit, because you lower the 2025 adjusted cap number by, let's say, $1 million, and you increase that player's cap number by $1 million. So that's a $2 million hit.
Right.
All right. Which is why I don't like giving out, because I don't know who's going to make their incentives. All right. But I'm looking at their totals for 2025. And I'm guessing, let's say the cap goes up to $280 million. All right. And if you watch Hard Knocks in the first episode, the NFL didn't know what it was going to be until the very end. All right. So we're just, whatever you want to use. I want to use 280 because it's a round number. All right. Plus, I would die laughing if it was $283 million, because because that whole Atlanta thing. All right. 200. Yeah. I can't see, and I have the cap total around 180. That's $100 million difference. I'm not saying the cap space is equal to $100 million, but I'm saying that's what they cushion as of today, before any incentives. You're saying before they extend or make offers to the ERFAs or RFAs, or place a transition tag on Jabril Peppers, which I think is going to happen. Because we missed the Kyle Duggar thing, transition tag. I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. So I'm going on the record saying I think that's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah. So with all this cap space and all this cap health, obviously it seems like they're drawing the line when it comes to Davon Godchaux and Matthew Judon. Now, of course, we don't know what's going to happen. They could very well end up finding some kind of middle ground that they're both happy with. But why do you think there is so much difficulty with these two players? And what do you think reasonable deals would look like for each of these guys?
Age. The NFL is such a young man's game. They are the Patriots only have six guys on this team that are over the age of 30. All right.
Hunter Henry and Andrews were the only ones who got extensions that are going to be 30 this year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a young man's game. Barmore did get paid, but Lawrence guy got released. All right. Do you believe in the talents of Keon White, Sam Roberts, Jeremiah Farms? You know what I'm saying? These guys on the interior lines. Daniel Ekeley, who got hurt last year. All right. Yep. He was pretty good. All right. He's on a relatively cheap contract. All right. If you say, well, I can't work out a deal with Godchaux, but you can extend Ekeley, who's a little, you know what I'm saying, for less money than with Godchaux, you know what I'm saying? So you can build around, you have some savings there. You got Ekeley plus a player to replace Godchaux. That's why I think it's going to happen. I've never thought that Godchaux was going to get extended. I've had 5 people. When I did it, I said 5 people, and I probably should have had 6 because I thought Brendan School would be the guy, right? I never thought Godchaux would be, because he's like, if you want you extended Barmore and you got these young guys, talents, they have the opportunity to show out. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it happening with him, but I think the deal that makes most sense for him is just give him the 100 deal. Same money, same structure. Same, give him the Hunter Henry deal. They're on the $9 million, 27. $9 million a year, $27 million in 3 years. But for him, because it's an extension, it'd be a $9.35 million API. So that's the agents could say he got better deal than Hunter Henry. All right.
Okay.
Because of the new money thing. All right. I'll be pleasantly surprised if Godchaux signs a deal with them. I will not be shocked if he gets traded. Okay.
Okay.
I will be surprised that they don't reach a deal with Judon because it's relatively easy to do so. I just think they're deciding they're negotiating on the guaranteed money, not the guaranteed money for 2024. All right, because we know he's not getting cut. All right, we know that Judon is not getting cut. Period. All right, that's not happening. So we just get to say we could also so we could think that his salary that's out there for is already it's not explicitly guaranteed, but we can say implicitly guaranteed. Right. Okay. So they're talking about the guaranteed money for 2025 and 2026. All right. I think that he's if I was Matthew Judon, all right, I don't want to go through this again. 3 straight years. All right.
Let's get something done.
So he did this, so I want guaranteed money for 2024. I want all of my salary for 2025 fully guaranteed. And I want a good portion that you have to think about cutting me in 2026 in the early part of free agency. Or I want a huge roster bonus in the early part of the offseason. So you have to make a decision. So I can go into free agency at the beginning and not at the end.
Yeah.
All right. One of those two things. All right. That's what they're looking. That's what if Matthew Judon, that's what you're looking for. So you talk about money. I'm thinking $15 million is the magic number.
Okay.
Right. He was signed for a deal that's around 30. The original deal was around 13 and a half. But the cap has gone up since then.
Right.
His value to the team has gone up since then. All right. But he's also older. He's coming off a season. He just played 4 games. So let's go with 15. Let's guarantee the salary for 2024. Let's guarantee the salary 25. Guarantee some salary for 2026. Let's go. End deal. Let's go. All right.
And do you think it's the team that's saying they don't want to get? Sorry, buddy. So do you think that's kind of where the issue is? The team's like, we don't want to guarantee 2024 and 2025. Is that where you think they're not really?
No, I don't think they want to guarantee 26. I think they're willing to guarantee 2024. I don't think they're negotiating about 2024. I think they're negotiating about the guarantees for 2025 and 2026. I could see Judon saying, I got to get my salary fully guaranteed in 2025. I can see that being a sticking point. Right? I gotta look at Hunter Henry's deal. Is his salary in 2025 fully guaranteed? Now I gotta hold on a minute. Now I don't know. I should have known this off the top of my head because I know his numbers for 2024, but I don't remember his numbers for 2025. That's embarrassing. All right, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
For now, I'll get you the love that you're getting in the chat.
All right.
Is the goal.
Okay, so Hunter Henry has $6.65 million of his salary guaranteed for 2025. All right.
Okay.
Matthew Judon should definitely beat that.
Okay.
And saying that should be the very minimum. All right. But that's all of Hunter Henry. All right. If you're willing to guarantee a tight end, all right, a fully guaranteed contract in 2025, you should be able to guarantee that contract offered Matthew Judon. Yeah. All right. I think the hang up is 2025 and 2026. All right. Okay. We will see what happens, folks. I'm still on the record saying he's going to get extended. All right. I think all this other stuff is just nonsense. All this noise is just nonsense. We'll see what happens. I could be wrong. All right. But if I'm wrong, it's more likely that I'm going to be wrong because either somebody came in and offered the Patriots a great deal in the trade. And saying like two sides come to reach an impasse. The Patriots say to Judon, see if you can find a trade partner. If they can, and if they do, they give us what they want, you can go. We'll move on. That's more. If I'm wrong, that's the more likely scenario that happens. All right. Well, man, but I don't know. Okay.
You're okay. I want to make sure the computing is going.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
So
I don't
Godchaux, you think ends up getting traded because they're not going to try to.
I think he gets traded. I especially if the young guys show out in training camp. I mean, Ekele, who else do we need to them to show up to be
really the top three would be Equale, Jeremiah Farms, then Barmore played a lot of nose tackle last season.
Yeah, so it's like they just need one of those guys.
Yeah,
one of those guys, and then say bye, Godchaux. And then you got younger and cheaper. I'm not saying they got better because the NFL I'm not saying they got better, but they got younger and cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't think he's gonna be in a roster. If I'm doing a 53-man roster, I'm not putting him on the roster.
All right.
I don't like. Okay, I'm not putting him up just because if he's that, like, literally he's talking about this money thing. I'm like, man, you're not getting. Okay, so I looked it up. All right, in terms of cap and cash this year, he's in the top 15. All right. And API, he's in the 30th. I'm like, but he can't go that much more. Right. I'm going to bring up the Godchaux stuff. All right.
And so doesn't it feel like really all he wants is maybe just guarantees for this year? Not an extension, but just so he knows he has some money since none of it's guaranteed?
Oh, I wish that was it. That'd be so simple to do because literally you could just give him a raise.
Right.
Like literally, you could give him like he's gonna get $83.3 million this year in cash. That's what he's doing, right? Mm-hmm. You could give him $12 million, prorated over next year, and we're done.
Yeah.
If that was it. It's really so simple. If it was just that, it would be done like this.
So you think he wants an extension since we're going through
in a big like I think he wants an extension that pays him more than what they think he's worth. Because if the two sides could agree on, like Mike Reese said something about maybe they do something about incentives and stuff like that.
Right.
If that was to happen, I think it would. That's the second easiest thing to do. All right, but the player has to agree to it. I'm not sure I would if I was Godchaux in his shoes. I would do it. All right, I definitely wouldn't do it if I would see if I would definitely do it if I was Judon because he played in so few games. It's so easy to give him millions and millions and millions of dollars and not likely be earning incentives. You could tag it, you got sacks, you got available to him. You got the wins. You got improvement in defensive. Oh, that'd be tough because the team was pretty good. But so let's say they have you got the snaps. You could tie it to snaps and wins. You can tie it to snaps and wins and playoff performances. It's a Pro Bowl bonus. It's so much easier for him than for Godchaux. Godchaux has to be thinking. I looked at this the other day. Let me look at my table again. Hold on a minute. I started thinking like he can't ask for that much more than where he is right now.
And I was on the same page because we're talking about, like, obviously he is vital to their run defense, but this is a team that, like you mentioned with Lawrence Guy, has already shown that they may philosophically be moving on. And we've heard from players and coaches that one of the big emphases that they had for this season was having an improved pass rush. And as good as Davon Godchaux is against the run, he gives you almost nothing on the other end of the spectrum. So I don't really understand where the leverage is for him because it makes no sense because the other guys give you both. They give you pass rush and run defense, and Godchaux is more of a one-trick pony. That makes it pretty tough, even though he is a rare body type on the team.
Okay, so all right, let's look at the Bills. Oliver, he got $17 million a year. All right, is Godchaux's getting 10.4? I don't think that Godchaux is Ed Oliver.
No.
Okay, all right. So let's split the difference. Grover Stewart in the Colts, $13 million.
It's closer.
Okay, see,
right?
So that if Godchaux thinks he's Ed Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots thinks he's Grover Stewart. Okay,
Yeah,
you're not going to get it, and they can't come to an agreement. Nothing's getting done.
I don't know how you bridge that gap.
You know what I'm saying? That you can't bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You really can't. You got to one. And I don't blame the Patriots for saying things like that. I wouldn't do it if he thinks he's Grover. If he thinks he's Ed Oliver, walk away.
Yeah,
just walk away. And like, if you can't make a deal, and he's gonna be unhappy about it, walk away.
And they've already shown they're willing to do that in free agency with Pharaoh Brown, with Mac Wilson, with Miles Bryant. Like, as much as they've been rewarding people on the team that they like, they've also shown, like, no, we have our price for certain guys, really role players, I feel like.
Thank you.
If you're a run-first player, if you're a role player, you're not going to – like, and Jelani Tavai is kind of in between because he is more of an early down player, but he is good in coverage. He does give you some pass rush. So I understand giving him the extension, but those other guys, it's like, no, I understand what they're doing because those are just guys who are more rotational versus like cornerstones who are consistently making those impact plays. Because again, even Godchaux, as good as he is against the run, he's not Anthony Jennings. Where Anthony Jennings is getting you tackles for loss, he's getting stops. Right. Like, the stat sheet is favorable. And Godchaux even said in the tweet where he's like, yeah, a lot of what I do doesn't show up in the stat sheet. That's valuable in some schemes into a certain degree, but, you know, if you're going to be paying somebody, like you said, Ed Oliver money, you got to show up on the stat sheet as well, and that just might not be Godchaux's game.
Yeah, and you can't, like you should have said before, you can't. It's hard to bridge that difference, and that's where I think that's where the difference is. I look with Judon. I don't think it's the valuation of his play. I think it's the structure of the deal that's the holdup, and that's. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the difference in those two players.
But Judon's one you think is going to get done.
I think it's going to get done because I think it's more about the structure of the deal than the valuation of his play.
So it's one of those, it's really just wait and see. They got to do the behind the scenes work, but it's not
they have until they really have until what? If he's going to hold in, he could hold in. All right. But they get to July 20. They like to get everything done by July 24th. All right. So what are we less than a week away? All right. We'll see what happens. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they get a deal done this week. No, but before the 24th. I'd be surprised they get a deal done with Godchaux. I would be surprised. And I would be surprised because I think it's more, like I said before, and I hate to repeat myself, Judon's about the structure of the deal. Godchaux is about the valuation of the play. And that's a big difference.
All right, that's huge. Because the way I've been thinking about it, I'm thinking about the play and them being worried about that because of the age and the injury and all those things. But that doesn't make sense. And it may not be that because he has been such an effective player. And I understand both ends of what they're saying. Yeah. No, we know exactly what we're going to get. But it's really just in how that's going to work out if he does want to, like you said, retire a Patriot. That makes a ton of sense. Oh, yeah. All right, another one I got for you. Those are guys like Matt Judon. We'll put him on the list of extension candidates. Who else do you think on this Patriots roster is likely to get extended? Because I'm pretty sure we're on the same page here.
Okay. I used to say Peppers. Yeah. I used to say Peppers. All right. I am now saying that he's going to get transition tagged next year. All right. Okay. I still think, like we talk, keep on bringing up the interior defensive line, but Eckler makes a lot of sense to get extended during the season if you let go of Godchaux. Brandon Schooler is an excellent candidate, and they would just drive the people who hate special teams crazy.
I'm sorry to distract you. Quick question on him. So can he be extended because he was undrafted?
Yes.
I was thinking in my head, he's only been in the league.
No, because he's undrafted. Okay. You can extend an undrafted player after 2 seasons. You can extend a drafted rookie after 3 seasons.
This is why I talked to you, Miguel. This is the fine print. I don't know. Okay, thank you. I've been wanting to mention him as an extension candidate. I think like an episode we did a couple weeks back. I was like, wait, is that even an option? Can they do that?
Yeah, it is an option. It is an option. He's 6th on my list. I had 5. They got 3 done. I think they'll get Judon done. I am less and less hopeful about Peppers getting done. I think he's going to get transition tagged. But I would love to be wrong. But if I'm Peppers, I'm asking for the same deal as Duggar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I'm just asking for the same play. I'm asking around.
Older.
Huh?
He's not even that much older. They're
exactly. Yeah, he's not around the same age. I'm asking him for the same money because especially if we get closer to the end of this season, would have a better feel of what. Well, I guess like I shouldn't say that based on the hot dogs. We can guess that the cap's going to go up. We just don't know how much. Say, he should ask. I think his market as he closer gets to free agency, his value increases.
Do you think so? With the transition tag, is that because of how the safety market looks, where you have great players like Justin Simmons who are still with free agents because they're on the wrong side, like 25? Is that
exactly? And I figured I should have learned. I made a mistake in thinking that I ruled out the franchise tag for Duggar. All right, but I should have thought about the transition tag. All right,
now we know
more about for Duggar because man, they got a lot. I should have said, well, they got a lot of cap space.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, why not the transition tag?
Hey, your guys.
You know what I'm saying? So why not? And who else on this team who's going to be a free agent besides, unless Uche blows up, that you would want to put a tag on? All right. Yeah. So I should have, with hindsight, I should have thought more about the transition tag for Duggar than I did. Because once I dismissed the franchise tag, I kind of also dismissed the transition tag, and I should have done it. But I should have thought more about that.
But I think we're on the same page. Score, now that I know it's possible, I would definitely have it there. I looked at the tweet that I sent out after Ramondre Stevenson got extended. That was another one. I'm glad we were both on the same page. That was probably going to happen. When I got Peppers, Judon, and then Score as my guys. The rest, I think they've done a pretty bang-up job. The other guys, it's more like Jonathan Jones. I wish I could say he's one, but with the injuries, I don't even know if he's going to play past this season. He might just want to enjoy his family, enjoy his flying, and maybe walk away from football. Yeah. But I would 100% agree with the guys you got there. All right, now moving a bit into the future. This might be kind of out there, but I'm curious. Is it too soon to think about what a potential Drake Maye extension could look like? Now, obviously, with the cap, it's probably going to keep going up. Although with that whole lawsuit and everything, we don't know how.
No, the lawsuit won't affect it.
It won't.
Because the lawsuit, the cap is based on revenues, not expenses.
Okay. So what could a potential Drake Maye extension look like? Do you think?
Tell me what the plan is going to be. Tell me what he's going to be in the next 3 years. What is it? Is he going to be a multi-time? Is he in the next 3 years going to be a multiple Pro Bowler, a multiple All-Pro? I mean, the deal any player is going to get is based not only what you could do for me in the future, but based on what he's done. All right.
Yep.
If he shows out and he plays at an elite level, and the cap keeps going up, I wouldn't be surprised that his first deal is say for 5 years. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if that number, this total number, is going to be more money than Tom Brady made in his career as a Patriot. That's because the cap was so small.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But it wouldn't surprise me if they're getting 55, right? And in 3 years, and the cap keeps going up. It's a possibility, if he plays well, let's say that he's getting a $65, $70 million a year contract. You know what I'm saying? It's possible. I'm you know what I'm saying? And if it keeps on going up crazy, $30 million a year, just to keep up with inflation. You know what I'm saying?
Reynolds saying, what is it going to $400 million? Is that going to be the range you think?
I don't know. I don't know what the cap's going to be, but it also depends on how well he plays. I mean, he stinks. I mean, even if he's just good, he's not getting top of the market thing. I'm just sorry. I know as much as I don't see how the NFLPA would ever agree to it during the middle of a CBA to limit what quarterbacks make.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that this current CBA doesn't end until 2030. All right. So there's a chance that, there's not going to be a limit on how much QBs can make. So let's go 280.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to 310, 335. Holy cow. So when he becomes after 3 years, you're talking the cap might be around 350. All right. Holy cow. You know what I'm saying?
That's ridiculous.
Okay. And the quarterbacks are making 20% of the cap. right now.
Oh, yeah.
They want to limit it to maybe 22. So let's just do 20% to keep it simple, folks. Right? 20% of $350 million is $70 million a year.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's you can't. So that's why I can't. Like you said, is it too soon? Because it's that number is so large. You know, it's incredible to think of.
Literally unfathomable.
Huh? Yeah.
Literally unfathomable.
Yeah. It's like he has. I mean, like the Bears have a bigger problem because they got the number one. You know what I'm saying? The higher you get. So it's like, all right. So even if one of these three players is going to probably get $70 million a year, you know, Williams, Daniels, Omey. Yeah. You got to figure the odds are one of them is
at least one. Yeah.
At least one. You know what I'm saying? As a Patriots fan, you're hoping it's May.
Now, while we're on the topic of quarterbacks and big money, we're going to go outside the Patriots real quick because I need your perspective. JJ McCarthy and his holdout. Trying to get a fully guaranteed deal.
Okay. It's not a holdout because he hasn't signed a contract.
That's true.
Okay,
that's true.
Okay,
that's
so
true.
let's not call it a holdout. He has yet to sign his deal. All right. He's not withholding his services because he has no services to withhold because he hasn't signed a deal. What JJ McCarthy's holdup is he's saying I'm a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want to get my signing bonus all in one payment. That's what has happened at the top of the market. Until this year, Drake Maye got all of his $20 million plus signing bonus all in one payment. All right. Michael Penix, who was drafted 8, got all of his signing bonus in one payment. JJ McCarthy says, I was 10. I'm a quarterback. I know that's not what you've done in the past for other players, but I'm a quarterback. We're special. I just want that. His deal, that's all he's asking for.
Okay.
He's just asking to get the signing bonus and all in one payment. And because you'd asked him the DM about fully getting his deal, I already know it's gonna be 4 years fully guaranteed because that's what happens for everyone who's drafted in the first round. All right. So imagine Minnesota. You drafted JJ McCarthy, all right, and yet you're arguing about when you're gonna pay the signing bonus. Why does it matter? It's literally like, why are you doing this? Why are you arguing about the labor payment? Just give him the money. I'm like, you don't want to set the precedent. You don't want to be drafted. Are you going to draft another guy?
Right. You shouldn't have to draft another quarterback.
Yeah. Right. If you're worried about precedent, then just telling the JJ McCarthy stinks. You're just saying that's by you saying this, you're saying you have no faith in them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just sign it. Just make it go easy. Like, I don't like. So there's 3 unsigned draft picks, right? McCarthy's got the signing bonus. 17 and 18 is probably about when they want the salaries in the future years. If there's going to be salaries or a roster bonus at training camp, that's it. Like somebody had asked me on Twitter, why are they still unsigned players? The deal should be done, and they're absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. All these deals, like I have only with the big money deals, I can see why teams want to wait on paying the top of the, number one, blah, 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 because they get such live signing bonus. You might as well hold on to the money as much as you can and earn interest on it. All right. But everybody else should be signed like right away. Like that's like literally the second Friday after the draft, over 100 players were signed. You know what I'm saying? Because the deals are done. It's so easy to do. Right. That you're choosing the Vikings, the Bengals are choosing not to sign their players because they decide it's important to them.
That's why I asked for your perspective, because it looks like, why is like JJ being difficult? But it makes more sense. This is also why you should usually side with the players and not the organization. But Miguel, this is the last one. Oh, wait, you got anything else?
No, yes. I'm a big time player thing. So
yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I know we're on the same page about that. Very rarely you're going to see us siding with billionaires, but Miguel, it's always awesome getting your perspective, buddy. I appreciate you so much. Before I let you go, please let the people know where they can find you and what great stuff you got coming down the pipeline that we should all be looking out for.
Okay, I'm always on Twitter at PatsCap. Hopefully in a couple of weeks, the Patriots will keep me busy with some more extensions. I will be incredibly busy the roster cut down day. So say a prayer for me, because they go from one. Instead of multiple roster cut down, I just have one. But it's gonna be. Other than that, I'm trying to decide when I'm going to. Hope to see you guys at training camp. I'm just trying to decide when I can take the day off. Because work has been crazy. But other than that, I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to seeing Drake Maye. Seeing some popcorn with Baker, and hopefully I hope to draft Demario Douglas in my fantasy football league. I don't think anybody. I'm in the Scott Fishbowl 14 league thing, and some of those I follow most of the guys in there, but I don't think they're gonna listen to this podcast. So yes, I'm gonna try to get Demario Douglas in later rounds of the draft.
Fingers crossed for you, buddy. Again,
yeah.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. And thank you all, as always, for watching. Now, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We will see you next time. Peace, y'all.